mortgages and mortgage supplies and the supply of homes, and also the mortgage industry bracing for a shakeup from the Trump administration. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me share my screen with you, and then we're going to deep dive into it for a second. And make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. For real, for real. All right? Let's get to it.
For the housing market, it's not just interest rates rising today. You can see that's putting pressure across the builders. But the number of homes for sale in this country is also really surging. Diana Olick is here with some exclusive new numbers. Hi, Diana.
Hey, Kelly, and you and I have been talking a lot about this already, the steady rise of homes for sale. But we asked Redfin for the very latest national read and to drill down on some major markets. Some of the numbers are really stunning. Now, nationally, inventory is up 18% from a year ago and has hit the highest level since the start of 2020, pre-pandemic. And speaking of, when you look at where inventory is soaring even more, it's in some of those markets that were super hot during the pandemic, like Phoenix, Denver, Dallas, Miami, Las Vegas. These markets are now seeing prices weaken dramatically, with some going negative from a year ago. The jump in listings is not just more new listings, but homes not selling, just sitting on the market. Now, prices lag sales by about 3 months, so we are likely to see even bigger price drops in these cities over the summer. There are, however, some markets that are not seeing big jumps in supply, and these are, of course...
Ooh, I see you, Detroit. I see you, Detroit. The inventory is going down. That means that it's actually a hotter market. I see you, Detroit. Yeah. All right. So this is the supply of homes. If you're telling me that there's a 53% jump in Seattle, Oakland, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Denver, Dallas, Miami, Boston, Washington, D.C., and Charlotte, most of those places are liberal places. Well, you knew D.C. was going to be hit. D.C. was going to be hit because it's a lot of fraud, waste, and abuse is being rooted out over there. I also know that there's a lot of people that are leaving Texas, right? There's a lot of people leaving Texas. Why is a lot of people leaving Texas? Well, one of the reasons why a lot of people are leaving Texas is because Californians couldn't hack it. I see so many videos of people saying, hi, we moved to Texas because, during COVID or whatever, so on and so forth, or we moved for a better life and all of this stuff to make more money, but we just couldn't take it. We just couldn't hack it. We can't handle the humidity, or we can't handle this, or we can't handle that, or the Texas way or whatever, and they got better taxes, but they just said that they love the California lifestyle. It's a lot of people that are leaving that say that they enjoy the California lifestyle. A lot of people. Let me see something real quick. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it's a lot of people that's saying that they can't take it. It's the California lifestyle. So let's continue.
There are, however, some markets that are not seeing big jumps in supply, and these are, of course, mostly in the Midwest, where homes are most affordable and sales are still strong. That's your Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago. Now, New York City is a weird one because it is so pricey, but you're seeing a lot of new demand in the city because of return to office orders and a relatively new tech presence. Sales were way up there in the first quarter of this year. Now, just to note that we did see a little surge early this morning in mortgage demand from home buyers, but that fell back last week when rates jumped up near 7% again. Today's buyers are...
I told y'all that the biggest opportunities were going to be in places where the homes are the most affordable. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The biggest opportunity is going to be where the homes are the most affordable. Okay? Don't go and buy condos down in Miami. Don't go down there. Don't go and you know what I'm saying? It's going to be different places for different reasons. Over in New York City, people are having to go back into the office, and so now they're ready to move back into the city. Stuff like that. But the biggest opportunities are going to be where the homes are the most affordable. What else did I say? Look at the map. Detroit literally is leading the nation. I tried to tell people, they don't want to listen to me. Detroit is leading the nation in inventory shortages because people are buying up everything and they are starting to move back and they starting to invest in it. But nope, people don't want to hear me. They want to wait until stuff is already built up. They want to adjust when everything is starting to adjust. Nope. All right. Okay. I warned you. You missed out on all of the equity. You missed out on the growth. You missed out on your opportunity to get rich. Is leading the nation. And I didn't even watch this video before. Is leading the nation in the place where it's running up the biggest bag. They don't want to hear me though. I said, go to Cleveland. They didn't want to listen to me. I said, go to the D. They didn't want to listen to me. Okay. All right. Well, then go ahead and wait and see for yourself. They saying that the mortgage market is about to brace for a Trump shakeup. And I don't know how true that is, but I'm going to find out. Let's review the video and then let's see what's happening out here. And then I want to share with y'all something else before we move over to the next part of the stream. Let me go ahead and share my screen and let me play this for y'all. I haven't seen this video yet either.
In the business of insuring mortgages in this country. Government is always the problem, never the solution.
Nashville
and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac could finally be headed for a major spin off or spin out of the federal government. President Trump announcing on Truth Social, quote, I am giving very serious consideration to bringing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac public and will be making a decision in the near future. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are doing very well, throwing off a lot of cash, and the time would seem to be right. Stay tuned.
Federal Housing Finance Agency head Bill Pulte appeared on Mornings with Maria to discuss the potential move. Watch this.
Well, we finally have an administration that cares about these two companies. These are huge companies.
That's crazy.
And other presidents have, in my opinion, totally neglected these massive, massive companies, which the U.S. taxpayers benefit from. So we are focused on making positive changes, and the employees love it.
Do those positive changes include getting them out of the grasp of government?
Well, we'll see. You know, there's many options that the president could do, and the president ultimately will be the one who will make this decision. So I would defer to him on that.
And with us now is Structured Finance Association CEO Michael Bright.
You know what? I didn't. Let me stop. I did kind of anticipate it. Somebody then gave me a little birdie in the ear. I don't know how I can benefit from it, but I did kind of hear a little bit of something about it.
Michael, thanks for joining us. So looking at this, the possibility, what this could mean, not only for the agencies, the government entities that they are, but for the markets.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. Good to see you guys again. I haven't been on since Duffy left. We all miss him. I think he's a little bit busy these days, but Dagan, good to see you again. Look, the president's the president's post last night did take a lot of people by surprise. You know, a lot of the other folks in the administration, including FHFA Director Pulte, had been saying that this was something they were going to look into. It was going to be methodical. It was going to make sure that it didn't impact mortgage interest rates in a material way. So I think the president took some folks by surprise with that post, but we're taking it seriously and looking at where this is going to go. And I think the path and where we're actually headed is most important. So you want to make sure that you protect the mortgage bond market so that you don't jack up interest rates for borrowers. You want to make sure we don't return to the pre-2008 structure where the taxpayers did have to bail these companies out. And you really want to ring fence the companies a little bit to make sure that they're focusing on the activities they're supposed to be doing. So hopefully that's part of the agenda here.
Jay Ben says HOAs need to be abolished and bring back community. Well, you can't really abolish them, Jay Benz, and I'll tell you why. So, for example, if you think about condos, right? Condos can't be individually maintained. They have to be maintained by a collective, especially if you're talking about a building, right? Who's going to pay the maintenance? Who's going to pay for the upkeep? Who's going to pay for the grass? Who's going to pay for the workers? Who's going to pay for all of that stuff, right? So unless you moved all of the buildings and condo facilities and the buildings into being apartments, then you wouldn't be able to justify just paying the mortgage itself. So an HOA is always going to exist. Now, when it comes to the individual locations, let's say, for example, you got a community. Well, if you want somebody to govern the quality of the neighborhood and you think that that's worth paying for, then you'll pay it. Me personally, I never ever. It's supposed to be a security and a maintenance operation, Lisa, and I never ever buy a place that requires for me to pay an HOA. I'm not doing it. As an investor, as a person that is a homeowner, I personally don't want to buy. Only time I buy land is in a place where it's no HOA. That's it. The only time that I buy land is in a place that's not an HOA. I refuse. I refuse. And so I've seen some HOAs be as high as $1,000, $2,000 a month, $500 a month, depending on where you are. And I'm like, I've seen them like $1,000 and $2,000 inside of certain buildings, and they pretty rich buildings. And I'm like, man, I just can't imagine paying no $2,000 a month in home and HOA fees on top of property taxes. Man, get the heck out of here, bro. Distinguished gentleman says it's rare nowadays not to have an HOA. Not to me. Not to me. I don't believe in HOAs. I was helping my homegirl from a real estate perspective, and every single thing that she looked at had an HOA. And I said, stay away from that. Be patient. Go and look at a place that actually don't have HOAs. You'll be very, very much appreciative as a result of it. So, nope. I don't believe in HOAs. I only have one property personally that got an HOA, and I pay a very small amount. I think I pay like $50 a month or something like that. And I've owned that property since the late 2000s.